he's seeing like Rice Scum and all these massive YouTubers there, and he himself is going up to them being like, "You're right, can I get a photo?" And Rice Scum's going like, "Yeah."
Back to your videos, mate. What is your favourite one you've done, would you say?
Favourite, that I think I got to say the fake Ed Sheeran one, just because that night was probably one of the funnest nights I've ever had. That again, we decided to do very last minute, like 3 days before, had the idea and then booked it all and went. And it just like, we didn't know what was going to happen. We went without much prep. And because we were supposedly with Ed Sheeran, we just went from strength to strength, culminating in like One Oak, the club in Los Angeles, bringing out like a champagne show with like Ed Sheeran on the...
You kind of like blew up his career kind of thing from that video, like that, because I know that after that, everyone was just like, "Oh, the guy looks like Ed Sheeran." And then you see he came up on Instagram ads the other week, like, you know, you click through stories.
Yeah.
And he was just doing an ad for someone. I was like, I remember him from your video.
He's a very nice guy.
Did you find him from Stephen?
I was on, so we weren't sure who the lookalike should be. We looked at like lookalikes of the Queen actually and Meghan Markle and all these people. I'm like, no, too
Queen at KSI versus Logan Paul.
Too unrealistic. And then I saw one on a lookalike. There's like lookalike agencies, by the way, where you can like browse through.
I seen a Twitter thread the other day, and it was someone replying with all the lookalikes, and they were so funny because they didn't look anything like them.
Oh, I saw that actually.
It looked like them if they'd been a heroin addict. It was the funniest thread I've ever seen in my life.
And I saw this guy who looked really good, but he's German, so like you obviously couldn't do it because no one would believe it was Ed Sheeran if they spoke to him.
I love the shape of you, yeah.
Schnitzel of you.
And then I was like, hold on, Steven's done something with an Ed Sheeran lookalike, so I looked him up. And then, I got in touch with him.
Yeah, because did that video bang straight away?
Yeah,
that banged straight away.
I think that was the fastest, I could be wrong, but up the fastest growing video I've never seen like growth like that so quickly. That was
more than the Katie Hopkins one. That one was like really overnight because Twitter got a hold of it.
I think for your one,
similar speed.
It was like viral content, but because it was around the fight, there was so much hype anyway. So
it was, I think the Katie Hopkins video appealed to like
a wider demographic,
the country and a lot of people, but that Ed Sheeran video was so YouTube centric that like, anyone who watches YouTube knew about that boxing fight.
Yeah.
So they then wanted to watch the video, I suppose.
Well, in like that video and in the Meghan one, like your tone of voice and everything, it's like a very specific style. It kind of reminds us of like a bit like Louis Theroux, the way he kind of does it. Have you got like any inspirations which you kind of base your kind of character off?
Not character-wise. One of my like role models is Sacha Baron Cohen, so I suppose that like is similar in a way. But in terms of character, not really, to be honest with you.
Is it just kind of what it just like?
I suppose it's just, I hope what me and how it comes across, and hopefully it's entertaining. I suppose me and Archie balance each other out quite nicely because he's very like frantic, quick, like quite loud, and I suppose I'm a bit more subdued and relaxed, and that maybe works.
He's quite good together. The fact that he's so like, you were saying downstairs about certain things, and like I was shocked about how fast he's like witty he is.
He's a really smart guy, and he's a great guy. We should have had him here.
We would have had to make them share a mic.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had much space.
And he'd probably have to sit in your lap,
Yeah.
You might like that.
You get jealous.
Yeah, he'd enjoy that. No, he'd enjoy it. Like
so I think that hopefully works quite well together for us on camera.
Is there any time in that Ed Sheeran video where you were like, fuck, this isn't going to work or not?
Certainly before we got there, I was very worried. I had no idea. I thought we might show up and people go, oh, who's that guy Josh is with who kind of looks like Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
And then we walked like to the red carpet area and it just like started. Basically from there, like everyone was just like Ed Sheeran, Ed Sheeran, Ed Sheeran. These photos being taken. Then we got like given the VIP passes for everywhere. Then we got like, it was like, can we interview you for this? Can we interview you for that? Then walking through the stadium was just like madness. Like it made me think, imagine being Ed Sheeran, this must be hell. Because you couldn't move. And from there, it just kept getting better and better. It was honestly the funnest night.
Can you imagine being Ed Sheeran? It's like, what if you watch the fight and just seeing yourself in the crowd?
Am I fucking there? Am I having an episode?
Imagine being on a night out, where you're with Ed Sheeran in like wherever it is that you are. It could be London, it could be LA, wherever it is. Do you know the amount of people that will just come up to you because they just want to get to you because of Ed Sheeran?
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Sort of. It was more like we were in the YouTubers area at the fight where, all the British YouTubers were there they were aware of what was going on, most of them.
That's
so
not Ed
funny.
Sheeran. I've seen Steven try before.
And it was so interesting to see, so there's obviously these massive American YouTubers there, like literal big celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever we would be in the room, me, Casper, and Ed Sheeran, Ty Jones, people would gravitate slowly to where we were. It was we'd be there, and slowly but surely people would start edging over, and then they'd walk past and they'd be like, "Oh, hey, I'm so and so."
Was that Justin Bieber who did that?
No, he didn't. But Ty was. He's a YouTube, he likes watching YouTube, so he's seeing Rice Scum and all these massive YouTubers there, and he himself is going up to them being like, "You're right, can I get a photo?" And Rice Scum's going yeah. So it was it was a really interesting thing to see how, I think all of us, when there's someone that famous around, you change the way you act. It's just unavoidable. He draws so much attention.
I think what's great about that Ty is that he's just as awkward as Ed Sheeran.
Yeah. No, that was it. So because Ty was so almost just quiet and awkward, it almost looked like it was Ed Sheeran, but he was so cool, he just wasn't really talking.
Yeah. He just kind of played it off.
And the other thing was that I think British people would have picked up on the accent, but because they're American, I sound British to them, so they had no idea that it was a different accent.
They're so bad at knowing where you're actually from.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
you were saying that, but people think you're Irish, right?
Yeah, I mean, British people.
We all know you're Welsh.
Yeah, I'm actually
Becky's cousin.
Yeah, no, I feel like British people are quite good with accents, but Americans are like, "Oh my God, I love your Irish accent." And I'm like, "Thanks,
yeah,
I appreciate it."
It is hard. I've lived in England now for 6 years, and now I can tell Welsh, Irish, and Scottish apart. But I must be honest, I did struggle at first with those three to differentiate. Not so much because they don't sound different, but more because you've got to just learn what they are. I'm okay, I know what that sound is, but I don't know where I couldn't remember where that was from.
How old were you when you moved to England?
So the first time I moved for 6 months, I was 18. I actually came over to play cricket because I used to play cricket before I was a YouTuber, and I played semi-professional cricket in England. And then I moved back full-time in 2015 for cricket as well. Got injured, got glandular...
Dodgy knee.
No, glandular fever, actually.
Oh.
Does that still fuck you?
Fuck.
No.
Professional footballer, but glandular fever.
Yeah, so I was then in England, which was only meant to be for 6 months. Couldn't play cricket anymore. I was always around Casper and Joe and those guys. So, people online, I suppose, knew who I was, but I hadn't ever created anything, and I had nothing to do. So I started making videos, and that was sort of, that's where it all started.
You're quite good at